guys, so this is day 2 of our Sigil Mastery retreat. So yesterday, as we said, it was our intro day, and we also did a bunch of, what would we call it, banishing, right? So we did a lot of banishing work yesterday. We also learned the different formats, so we got a hold of, you know, the basics of what it is that we want to be working with our sigils, which is the alphabetical method, numerical method, the planetary method, and the mantrical method. We've got one more left. We cover that one tomorrow, and that's where we interface all the different kinds and we end up with a hyper sigil. So that's kind of what we went over yesterday, the basics of, and we're going to continue with all of that today. And I also want to mention the other really important thing is that when we are in that consecration state, or rather that state when you're just about to cast your sigil, we need to be known in what's known as the gnosis state, which is also the same thing as saying an altered state of consciousness. So you don't have to be like way out there like some of the other stuff that we do, but you do have to be in an altered consciousness state for your sigil to be dispatched efficiently. Okay, so that's what it's called. Another really interesting thing that we covered yesterday was activating sigils on time release. Yeah, so that means that we can activate them actually somewhere in the past or somewhere in the future. And this is very relevant to our planetary sigils, because with the planetary sigils, of course, the planets are relevant to particular days. So, you know, wherever it's from, it might not be that day. Like today is Sunday, and perhaps your sun's sigil comes up to be made on a Wednesday. So you can time release it for wherever it is that you want to put it for, past, present or future. Now another little trick that we're going to learn today, again, which is pertaining to the planetary sigils, is how to override so-called retrograde. So we've already learned one of the ways, the tricks, which is to time release it. But then there are also very specific shapes or sigils that are relevant to each planet that you can place on the back of your own sigil to negate the retrograde. So that's another way of doing it. However, you guys are fusion students, so we've already talked about retrograde, and I think it's Alan Watts that said that, you know, we feel at times that it's the stars that govern us, but in fact a good alchemist must know how to govern the stars. So that's just like kind of another aspect of that. So we're going to go into that a little more. And I just want to say that generally speaking, all of our Fusion 7 healing practices, if you are on the road of expansion and ascension, and that doesn't necessarily mean an upward motion, but just becoming more aware. It kind of includes being able to purge whatever it is that may be toxic or contamination, right? And that could be applicable to like your finite human level, it could be on a collective level, it could be at a cosmic level, right? So there's all these different levels of purging that we want to reach in order to do what actually? It's really to be able to return to that state of being a mortal, conscious aspect of primary source, doing the good work for self and all others on the planet. But you can't do that effectively unless you've purged effectively, right? And this is why we have all of these different classes of fusion, so that we can learn to purge effectively and transform effectively. And of course, being able to sigilize thoroughly and effectively is one of those approaches to help us do that, okay, to be free of that contamination and to be able to move on to the next level. So I think that's everything for today. Yes, it is. So that's our intro. And today we're going to go into using maybe 3 or 4 different types of sigil techniques and overlaying them. And we're about to get into that just now. So let's enjoy the rest of the day. I'll catch you tomorrow for day 3. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, share, YouTube, Periscope, where else am I? Facebook, Twitter, and the other one. I've forgotten it. Instagram. Helen Makes Miracles. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much.